in my career that spanned 32 years. So I'm delighted to be here, and I shall now hand the microphone to Mr. Hook.
1, 2, Ollie, that's what you always do to test them, you see, 1, 2, and you know they're working. I'd like to thank Chris for this. I mean, when he started, I thought he was a bit ridiculous, to be honest. But when I saw the list of people that had worked here and recorded here, and then saw the amount of records and the way that, I think we changed the world. And I think that this little corner of Rochdale did change the world of music anyway. So I want to thank everyone. It's really weird seeing all these old people. And I'm sure it's weird for them seeing me. So I'd like to pass you over to John Robb now, who's going to finish off with a few choice words, because he's an author.
What do you mean, swear words? Yeah. First time I came here is 1979, because I'm a little younger than Hooky, but not much. And we did an overnight session here. It was the first time we'd been to Rochdale. We came from Blackpool though, so we're used to towns that looked a bit like this. So, and then I actually came back quite a lot of times. I did about 15 records here. And I spent about 5 years producing stuff when Sean owned the studio. Sean was going to do a speech, but he doesn't want to do one. So, yeah, so I think I've probably been in the studio more than anybody else. I think it had the best live room of any studio I've been in the world. I've been to a lot of studios. It's a shame it's all stuff full of furniture now. I think that's quite tragic, really, because I think the studio itself, if it's still a studio now, it would have a lot to offer to a lot of modern bands. I think it shut down at a time when people didn't really want to be in bands anymore, so that was quite sad, really. Because there's more bands now than there ever has been, so this would actually be a really successful space if it still existed. The thing I really noticed, though, is all the graffiti's gone, because it used to be like loads and loads of bands' names sprayed on that wall, and spraying that wall on. I think we sprayed our name on that wall over there, but somebody's painted over it. So that's kind of missing as well, because that'd be a great heritage site. Instead of like a blue plaque, all the graffiti's still up there. So, yeah, so I had loads and loads of really interesting stories to be. I bought my guitars in that room, and that guitar shop next door. But there's a lot of memories. First time being up here for about 10 years. It was a really great spot. I think it's quite tragic. It's become like a piece of history, but that's like all rock and roll. It's also all become a piece of history. But it's and so many like really fantastic records got made here. As I think I did a book about Manchester, and I interviewed John Brearley, who's one of the key people setting up the studio. And he made a great point that this was the post-punk studio. All the great post-punk records got made in this studio. If you actually look at the list of stuff that actually got made in here, it's a complete history of the music that came after punk and changed people's attitudes to music for the next 20, 30 years. It all came out of that room in here in Rochdale. It was like a really, really fantastic piece of musical history. Thank you very much.